Now, though, we are being joined by Ross Uglem, PackerReport.com, Pack-A-Day Podcast. You can find him on social media at Ross Uglem. He is joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Ross, my friend, how the heck are you doing on this beautiful Victory Friday?
I'm well. It's not often that you get 2 wins in 5 days. And they kind of need the mini bye. So it's hard to feel better about what's going on, especially, they just kind of whooped the number 1 seed from last year in the NFC and an NFC finalist. It's not like this was, New Orleans and Jacksonville. This was a statement that was made.
A big time statement against, like you said, 2 very good teams. We'll see how both of these teams perform through the rest of the season. But going into this, I mean, there was a real feel of like, hey, can you just go 1-1 through these 2 games and then pick up wins against Cleveland and Dallas, go 3-1 by the bye, and then, kind of take it from there. Getting these 2 wins feels massively impressive, especially in the way in which they did so. Let's start on the defensive side, Ross. This is a defense that is as good or better than any defense in Green Bay through 2 games. I'll put the asterisk on there, through 2 games that I can remember seeing a defense play. What has stood out to you about how this defense is going about accomplishing this and why they are as good as they have been so far?
It's up front. It's up front. And people know I've been hard on the corners in the past. But they're when Micah Parsons got there and he said basically he was going to make the corners some money. You're seeing that. And that's not to take away from Keyshawn Nixon's performance last night, which was excellent, or anything like that. But I mean, there's no such thing as covering for 4 or 5 seconds anymore. It's not a thing. So they're able to sit on routes. They're able to not get where, Xavier McKinney has to be the most bored guy in the world right now, because there just isn't anything for him to do. Right now, they're defending about a 13-yard field, which is crazy. But it is absolutely what's going on.
No, for sure. Yesterday, again, the longest play was 20 yards on that Zach Ertz play, where it was mostly after the catch, after Quay just overextended just a little bit on that play. Then there was the McCaffrey one that he got open for 19, where the defense just kind of lost track of him a little bit on a play that kind of Jane Daniels was able to get out and kind of buy a little bit of time. And outside of that, everything was short and intermediate. And then you had in the run game, the longest rush was 8 yards. So yeah, to your point, you don't need to see a ton of Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams right now. They're doing their job on the back end to make sure that there's nothing available over the top, but the ball doesn't even get to that area of the field. It's just immediately a check down or a short rush. The defensive line's taking care of business, and then Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper just immediately cleaning things up on the second level. It's a rare scene where actually Evan Williams or Xavier McKinney actually even have to do anything.
Absolutely. The only time that you kind of see it is when they're rolled down into slot defender or even sometimes a pressure. I think, one of the 3rd down conversions happened on McKinney when he was rolled down. I'm not complaining. They played unbelievably, but that's the only time they get involved is they get rolled down into a slot area, and Hafley calls something in single high. It's like, oh, I get to do something, or they get sent on a blitz. That's basically it. Any of their shell coverage, they're mostly desperation balls that get thrown down the field.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, it makes it extremely easy. Ross, let's rewind to the moment that you found out that Micah Parsons was being traded to the Green Bay Packers. We know the player that Micah Parsons is. We know the impact that he can make. I'm even struggling to like what he's been able to bring so far in just 2 games in somewhat of a limited snap count is even far beyond what my wildest imagination was going through when they first acquired him. His impact through 2 games, it can't be understated. 8 pressures in this game, a half a sack, which would have been a full sack had he not been, held on the play. He basically teleports on a move inside, going from one spot to another. It's really remarkable at the talent that he is.
Yeah, I had, I think you and I were both hearing a lot of the same things, and you had kind of conditioned yourself where it's like, no matter who I hear this from, unless his first name is Brian, I'm gonna just not get myself too excited because of how many times they've come in second, or like the Hendrickson deal that didn't happen, and thank goodness it didn't. But you like I had heard from 2 or 3 different ways that this was probably happening, but you still kind of tell yourself, I don't know. And then at 2:50, I thought I'd be a smart aleck, and I tweeted, I'm raising the Micah Parsons alert to orange. And then I just didn't shut my phone off, but I had stuff to do because I'm coaching college golf this fall, and we had a 4:30 practice, and I get up to the course where we're going to do our short game practice, and at 4:00, when the tweet goes out, my phone just goes bananas. Jacob Morley actually then puts me on a 3-way call with Jacob Westendorf, and everybody just was losing their mind. My players are staring at me like, what in the world is happening? It was quite the scene. And then I had to go to work like 8 minutes after all of that happened because we had practice. So that was, and then of course I stormed home to do the reaction pod for Pack-A-Day. So that was quite the afternoon.
Yeah, very much so. And again, his impact in these first 2 games cannot be overstated. He has been as advertised and so much more. I love the thank you, Jerry chants that he's, bopping around to after the game at the Amazon Prime desk. It could not have been anything better than what we've experienced through these first 2 weeks so far and what impact that he's had on this team, not only on the field, but just getting this team a little bit more energy and buzz and excitement and everything that it just feels like it needed to get over the hump. It was the right player for the right reasons at the right time. Offensively, Ross, what did you see in this one? There was a little bit of lull, maybe a couple connections that were missed. It felt like maybe it's still just a hair off, but it's still early in the season, and it feels like there's so much more meat on the bone still for this offense.
For sure, they're missing a little bit on the, and this is not a bashing Matt LaFleur thing. I mean, they're missing a little bit of the killer instinct as they have been for LaFleur's entire career. I mean, he just wants to win, and that's what you want your coach to do. But the math tells him like, okay, we're up 2 scores, it's time to run the ball, and then he starts doing it. And right now, Josh Jacobs just got 3.7 yards a carry last night, and not all of that is on Jacobs, but they're not ready to run block right now. Jordan Morgan had just about a clean sheet pass blocking last night. He looked completely lost trying to run block. There were multiple run plays where I noticed him looking back at the running back at the end of the play. That is not how you want your left guard to finish. Belton's not ready. I mean, they're very functional still somehow as a pass pro unit and just cannot create holes for Josh Jacobs. Now, some of that, I think, like I had the opportunity to watch the game on Prime Vision. There's a lot of single high stuff. Teams are really scared of Josh Jacobs and what Green Bay can do if they just have to run the ball. I couldn't believe how both, frankly, Detroit and Washington said, okay, Jordan, beat us. It's like, guys, he's not hurt. He will. He will beat you. And the only, obviously, criticism is Green Bay could have had 34. I mean, they could have just dusted Washington last night if they would have kept throwing the ball. Definitely with Reed missing, though, and Golden doesn't seem like it's quite there yet. Not that it's not coming. I mean, he would have had a touchdown and maybe a really, really long play. So it's not all on him. But you love to see what you've seen from Wicks, man. The Dontavian Wicks of it all is happening. And you can just tell, I mean, you're a WWE guy. Christian Watson is just sitting in his elimination chamber pod, ready to like rock the crowd. And I can't wait to when his number is called.
I'm right there with you. I think he's going to add a whole different dynamic. I love the deal that they were able to get done with Christian and, him and Marshawn Lloyd hopefully coming back sooner rather than later once they're able to come off of that PUP list. I think both of them could be impact players for Green Bay. We'll see how they kind of navigate this Jaden Reed injury coming up, but those 2 players coming back hopefully sooner rather than later can certainly help. And I think they have the depth at wide receiver, and I think you're only going to see more of Savion Williams and Matthew Golden get even more ingrained. And I'm so glad that you brought up Dontavian Wicks because he has looked really good through 2 weeks, catching everything his way. They even put him on the hands team, Ross. They even put him on the hands team. It's definitely a choice, but it paid off. He came up with a big onside kick recovery as well. We got to get out of here in just a moment, but I'll let you have any final thoughts that you want before you get out of here. And then, of course, plug anything that you want on the way out as well.
Absolutely. No, I'm just tremendously impressed with Goody and Matt. And, it's exciting because it's not perfect. It's exciting because there's meat left on the bone. Losing Reed sucks, but I'm actually really excited, honestly, from a schematic standpoint. One of the things that really gets me going is the idea that you could have a Matthew Golden, Christian Watson rotation in the slot. Two guys that bring completely different things to the table, but are horrific matchups for inside defenders. And then you can just have Dobbs and Wicks rock and roll outside, sprinkle in a little bit of Malik Heath and whatever that was last night. They're still going to be fine in the wide receiver room for sure, especially after 9 gets back. As far as plugging stuff, check us out over at PackerReport.com. Great discounts right now on VIP memberships. And as always, check me out on Packer Report TV and the Pack-A-Day Podcast YouTube channel.
You do tremendous work, my friend. Looking forward to you digging into everything this week. I'm going to not keep you any longer because I know you want to go dig into the tape, so I'll let you get to that. We will definitely do this again soon. And again, I appreciate all the work you do, my friend.
Thanks, Andy.